Good morning, y'all. So today, in today's video, I need to make some spaghetti sauce. Homemade spaghetti sauce is absolutely delicious. If you've not tried it, try it. It's easy to make. It does take a little bit of time, but it's really worth it because the taste compared to store-bought is amazing, and it's fresh, and you know what you're putting in it, and it's really good. So I've got a lot of my stuff here. I've got some tomatoes that I'm going to use. I've got my peppers and onions in here, some garlic here, and then some stuff over here that we're going to use too. This is a basic recipe with, you know, the tomatoes, onions, peppers, garlic, and some herbs. You can, but it's very basic. I'm not going to tell you, you know, oh, so much of this or so much of that, for the most part. But there's basic things that are in spaghetti sauce, and so if you want to make them, that's the bunny, by the way, trying to dig through the plastic. But you basically need tomatoes, some peppers. If you don't like a lot of pepper, then maybe put in a little less. Garlic, same with garlic. If you like garlic, put more in. If you don't like garlic, put less in. You'll need some tomato paste and some spices like oregano or Italian seasoning or something like that. It's very, very basic, but I'm going to show you how I make mine. So, and I'm going to can it in the end too. So stick with me and we will get there. Okay guys, so the first thing I've done is I've filled my sink up. I've cleaned my sink out and filled it up with some warm water, and I put all the tomatoes and the peppers in here and just let them soak for a minute before I start cleaning them off. And when you clean them off, you want to make sure to remove all the green stems and any stickers if they have them. But while these are soaking just for a minute before I clean them off, I'm going to start chopping up my onions and a little bit of garlic, and I'm going to come back to you then because we're going to start cooking on it then. Okay, so let's get this started. I've got basically 2 onions. I've got one white and one yellow. I prefer the slight flavor difference. You can use whatever you want, or again as many onions as you want, but I've got 2, and I've got half of my tub of garlic here that I've cut up and I want to fry these with the onions. The size doesn't really matter because we're going to put this all in a blender anyway, but I just like to get these cooking, to reduce some of them down a little bit, to get them a little transparent, and so yeah. So what we're going to do first, I've got some extra virgin olive oil. We're just going to pour a good dollop of that in the bottom of the pan. Let me get my stove turned on here. I'll cook it on medium. And I'm just going to dump all this in here. And we'll start this cooking. So now I'm going to go over and clean all of the tomatoes and peppers, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so I'm still working on cutting up the tomatoes and the peppers, working on that, and I've turned the heat off, and it's hot, pretty hot, so I'm just going to turn it off, leave the lid on it, let it sweat for a little bit, because again, these don't need to be cooked to mush, because we've got to cook it all down anyway. I did add some mushrooms and some spices, but that's a personal whatever, so I've got those in there. And I did add about a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar and about a 1/2 teaspoon maybe of pepper and about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Might sound like a lot, but remember all of this is going to be blended together and cooked together anyway, so it'll be okay. So I'm just going to put the lid back on, let it sweat for a bit, and go back to cutting up my tomatoes. Okay, y'all. So here's how simple this really is. I've got my big stock pot here, and I've got my bowl of tomatoes and peppers, and I've got the leftover garlic down in here, and we're going to just put this stuff in my blender and blend it up, and each time dumping this out into this pot. I've also got some stuff over here that I'm going to use up. Some diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato paste. So we're going to use that up too, but we're going to just blend all of this up, all of it, and put it in here with no rhyme or reason. Just blend it up, put it in here, and then we're going to get, after we do that, this should be cool enough and have sat there for a little while, that we're going to take the stuff in here and blend that up and put it in the stock pot too. So I'm going to do all of that, and then I'll come back and show you what we do next. Okay, y'all, so here we go. We've got the big pot, but here's the dilemma I find myself in. I've got this pot a little full, and I've got another smaller pot about a third full. So what I'm going to try to do is, as this reduces, I'm going to try to fit all of that in there. So we have the same recipe going. I don't want two different recipes or two different batches of spaghetti sauce going on. So I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to try to add that as this reduces some. But that's pretty much where we're at. Now what I'm going to do though is I'm going to taste it before it gets too hot. Again, it's just mainly raw tomatoes, so we're okay here. Oh, that's really good already. Oh my, yeah. Wow, okay. But I can't get over how good that is. So I'm going to be adding some parsley, basil, Italian seasoning, and a little more salt. And then this one, like I said, it's amazing tasting already. So I probably won't need anything more than that. But you could always taste yours again as you go along. Just taste it. That way the end product is something that you would actually want or actually eat. But it's really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to let this cook now. This is the long part, the part that takes the longest. Stirring it occasionally. We don't want anything to burn or scorch or anything like that. But just cook it down. And we'll be back when that's happened. Okay, y'all, so I am ready. I started filling jars before I remembered I was filming this, but I was able to reduce this down enough to get the rest of the other pan in here too. And now it's still hot, so I'm putting it in my jars to can, and I'm going to can them. I've got my hot water bath over here waiting for it to warm up, and we will can them. I got some more jars there lined up ready and waiting. So yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty easy, and like I said, it tastes amazing. So I hope this inspires you to try to make your own spaghetti sauce. Because it's really easy. It's just time consuming, and the longest part is, you know, reducing it down some. So okay, I hope you liked this video, and we will see you in the next one.